Hey all. Hey, wanted to have a little discussion real quick, mostly to invite your comments and opinions. But first, a post-surgery update. I'm out of the sling, which is good. That's progress. And I'm able to sort of move my elbow a little bit. And today's the first day I've actually, since the surgery, first time I've actually picked up, well, didn't pick it up with my right hand, but picked up a guitar. To see where we stand, and I'm not quite ready to rock yet. There's actually more shoulder involved in, in playing than you would think. So still don't have real mobility in my shoulder quite yet, but really close. Next few days, I think, ought to do it. But that's not the reason for the video. The reason for the video is this. I wanted to kind of reflect for a minute on classic rock artists and where things are headed, because you know, we lost Charlie Watts recently, which is really sad because he was just fantastic. He's in the discussion of all-time great rock drummers, right up there with Moon and Bonham and Neil Peart and all those people. But so there's that. We're getting to the point where you know, that generation of rock stars, that they're hitting 80 years old. I mean, I think Charlie was 80. So you got that, and the Stones are touring without him. You'd have to imagine. Of course, we've been saying this for years and years, decades now. You have to imagine that this is the last tour, because I know Mick and Keith and Ronnie, for that matter, probably are going out with mixed feelings for this tour, but I think they kind of, because of COVID, canceled it last time and all that, or postponed it. They probably feel like they owe the fans, and maybe they do, one last go around. I mean, and by owe them, I mean the people who had bought tickets a long time ago, before the postponements and stuff. So they probably want to clean things up with one last tour, but I'm sure they're doing it with heavy hearts and mixed feelings without Charlie. So there's that. We just heard that David Lee Roth is going to do his retirement gigs, I guess, on New Year's Eve or something like that. And he was kind of vague in his statement about that, but referred to some health issues that he's having. And he's a few years younger than the Mick Jagger generation, but still getting up there. You know, the big one, though, that made me really start thinking about this was, I saw some clips on YouTube of the Genesis tour, the most recent, what is that, Last Domino tour that they're doing. And I guess they started out with some European shows, and I just checked out a few of those. You know, Phil Collins has had health problems, clearly is still having them. And, you know, he's on stage, he can't drum anymore, so I think it's his son, who is a very capable drummer from the way it sounds. And Phil has to sit there in a chair at the front of the stage. I mean, I know B.B. King did that toward the end and stuff, so it's not unheard of to do that. But that's not the thing. Yes, there is a visual thing that about rock stars getting old and still performing, and can you still do it with dignity? And I'm not knocking Genesis fans or anything. I love Genesis too. Not my favorite band, but I like a lot of their stuff. And of course, I'm 53, so late 70s into the mid 80s. You know, that was you could say that's a peak period for Genesis. So I'm very familiar with all those albums. But for me, it kind of comes down to the performance. If you watch those videos, like I watched just like a few days ago, I watched the first part of a show, I don't know, in Ireland or wherever it was. And Turn It On Again I listened to. And, you know, I love Phil Collins like anybody else. And for people who are really, I don't know, someone who's 30 or younger maybe, probably can't really appreciate how huge of a star Phil Collins was in the 80s. There was a period there where he really dominated the charts for a good 3 albums or so in there. and had just massive, massive, massive hits, and they were all great. But listening to that, even the most hardcore Genesis fan would have to agree that Phil just cannot sing anymore at all. It's not even sort of. It's sad, is what it is. It's sad watching him up there do that, and God bless the fans. They're loyal, and I know they probably paid a lot of money to see those shows, and I'm sure most of them walk out of there thinking, I'm so glad I got to see them one last time. Probably fully appreciative of the show, all of that. But I think objectively, empirically, if you listen to that and watch it, because it is a visual and audio thing when you see a concert, and that's important. But when you take a look at that and hear it, it's terrible. It's awful. It makes me sad more than anything else that a guy who is clearly not capable of doing this anymore, let alone capable of doing. I don't expect someone at 70 plus years old or whatever he is to be able to perform like they were at 25 or at 40 or at 50. I don't expect that, and I don't want it, and I'm not asking it. But you got to be able to go, in my opinion, again, you all feel differently, and put your comments in the comments. But you got to be able to deliver the goods still. You got to be able to sing a passable rendition of Turn It On Again. And he just plain can't. It's awful. It's sad. It's pathetic. And the full sense of the word pathetic. I actually feel for him. Because he feels like, I don't know if he got financial problems. I don't know if it's an ego thing. I don't know why he's doing it. I don't know why he agreed to do it. But he shouldn't have. It's awful. It's terrible. This is, again, my opinion. Yours is different. And yours is not wrong. But it's bad. It's terrible. Now, having said that, what is the cutoff point? It's like how do you know when to put your dog to sleep? You just know. When a dog can't do dog stuff anymore, when it can't do the things that dog used to love doing, it's time. For Phil, he can't do it anymore. He can't play the drums. He was a drummer and a really good one. He can't sing anymore. He was a pretty good singer too. He can't do it. He's not Phil Collins anymore. He's a sad, crippled man, unfortunately. And again, I'm not passing any judgments on him as a person. He's probably a swell guy. But I don't know. That one I feel badly about. Now, the Stones are out there doing it. And again, this may be the last, may not. But they can still get through a rendition of Jack Flash, and it sounds all right. No, it's not. It's not the Stones the way we used to know them. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, yeah, I know, I'm old. Fine. But they haven't really been the classic Stones in a long, long time. I saw them in '89, and I thought they were already past being the great Stones then. Again, you have your opinion, I got mine. They're like a tribute band to the Stones. A really good one, and one that has some of the original members in it. But I don't think they're much more than that. But still, the Stones are different. Because when you go to see the Stones, you go because I need to see the Stones in my lifetime. I need to be able to say I saw them. It's an event. It's an appearance as much as it is a musical performance, right? It's a chance to get together and hang out with other Stones fans. And I'm sure the Genesis thing is very similar. People do it as a communal kind of experience. But at least the Stones are still able to deliver, McCartney's out there doing it. Now, he says a lot of stupid things. He said, I just saw an interview today, he said he kind of dismissed the Stones as a blues cover band. It's like, Paul, I love you, but shut up. Okay? Just shut up. Stop talking. I kind of wish he'd stop singing too, because he's way past it there. But again, Paul's another one, whereas he kind of has a license to do whatever he wants. He's earned the right to suck the joint out, That's kind of okay, because you're just checking off a box to say you saw a Beatle. And I get that. That's all right. Still, though, the shows don't suck. He can't sing Long Tall Sally anymore. Yeah, he can't even sing Hey Jude really anymore. But it's still fun. It's not pathetic, let's put it that way. Or the Genesis thing, that's pathetic and painful to watch. Now, Granted, this is going on 10 years ago now. So what, they would have been in their early to mid 60s. But I saw Pete and Roger on that. That was a 50th anniversary tour? Yeah, I think it was. So maybe I don't know when that was. 2009. I don't know when it was. Whatever it was. And I had also seen them in '89 when they were in their 40s. Right. The show I saw 10 years ago was vastly superior to the one I saw in '89. I mean, they were both great. Roger sounded, he flagged the last 3 or 4 songs. In fact, I kind of questioned the set list because they put Won't Get Fooled Again and Bob O'Reilly toward the end, and he was already fried by then. But man, for 90% of that show, I was just astounded at how great Roger sounded, you know. He sounded great. And Pete was, I've seen them a few times and saw, you know, I've read a lot of Pete interviews and seen him, videos of him speaking and his onstage stuff. He comes across as a kind of a curmudgeon, kind of a jerk a lot of the time. But he was having fun and enjoying himself. He wasn't bitter. He seemed to actually like the performance. Maybe that was an act, I don't know. But that was one where they've gotten better, I think, with age. Now, granted, I don't really refer to them as The Who. I kind of call them Pete and Roger because it's not The Who anymore. But it was still a great show, totally enjoyable. There was 4 guys and then they had a keyboard player. So it was 5 guys on stage, maybe 6 because I think Simon was on rhythm guitar. But a compact band compared to that Who review thing they did in '89, which I didn't like at all, would best forget. The Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, they did that thing in 2007 and still were able to do it with dignity. And I think that was the last moment of Robert Plant as sort of the lemon squeezer persona. And that Robert Plant, the Robert Plant from Led Zeppelin is dead and gone and has been for a long time. We get the occasional glimpse, and I think the last occasional glimpse of that guy was in '07 at that reunion gig. But that was fantastic. Jimmy was on top of it. Jonesy, of course, will be great until the day he dies. They tuned almost everything, a lot of the set. They tuned downs to suit Robert's voice, and he sounded great. He was fantastic. Totally dignified. If they had gone and done a very short tour or done, 3 shows at Madison Square Garden, 3 at the LA Forum, or something like that, that would have been great. It would have been totally fine. I have no interest, believe it or not, in seeing them today if they were to announce tomorrow they were doing some kind of reunion tour or something. I don't want to see it now. I just like that. They're as old as my dad, I don't want to see my dad up there with the violin bow on his guitar and a laser pyramid. I just don't. Love you, Dad, but I don't want to see you do that. So there comes a time when it's just gone. The magic is gone, and we have all the memories. They owe us nothing. Phil Collins owes us nothing. He could have just gone off into the countryside and counted his money and not ever spoken another word, and that's totally his thing. It's also totally his thing to want to do one more tour. I'm just not interested in seeing it. And I think it's kind of sad. So the point of this is, when is it too late? When are they past it? Are the Stones past it? I watched some of those old videos of Chuck Berry in the last years of his life, and it was so depressing to watch it because he didn't need the money. I think they just do it because they want to be, and I know that's why Paul does most of the things he does. It's this obsession with being relevant, and I'll never understand that kind of pressure because I'm not a Beatle. You know what I mean? The rest of us mere mortals can't comprehend what that pressure is like to be so well known and so popular and so successful, and have to stop it at some point. But some do. REM stopped it a long time ago, and you could argue they were still peaking then, and none of them have felt the need to do a reunion or anything like that. They gave us what they gave us, and they want us to be happy with that, and I am happy with it. I don't ask anything else. I don't ask anything more of REM. Thank you for what you gave us. That's it. I mean, ABBA's doing this thing where it's a tour, a reunion tour, but it's just like animated versions of them. That's what we've come to, really. I just think it's sad, and we're at this point now where in the next 10 years, Mick Jagger's next, he's 78, I think now. In the next 10 years, these guys are going to be pushing 90, literally. The thought of it is just heartbreaking. But how long can you keep doing it, or how long do fans demand that you do it? I don't want Jimmy Page he's been doing this for 15 years. In fact, he's been doing it ever since the '07 reunion, and saying, I'm working on new stuff next year. I can't wait to get out and do live. I've got a lot of ideas. I even recorded some stuff. An album is coming. I'm going to do this. And he keeps saying that, and it's like, Jimmy, we know you're retired. We know it's over. It's okay. I love you. I literally love the guy. And I don't ask anything more of him. He's given everything. He's given me all I need. I got the albums. I got the live stuff. I got bootlegs. I got videos. I've seen him in person a few times. I've been to his house, for crying out loud. I don't need any more. So stop saying you're doing that. Just say you're done, and that's okay. Live with it, It's possible to just retire from rock, and the world goes on. There's plenty of other people, younger people out there who are doing good stuff. So anyway, these are my reflections on what I really kind of feel like is the end of classic rock, or maybe even the end of rock, period. But it's definitely the end of those classic bands. You're talking Who, Stones, Zeppelin, Beatles, a couple of them left. There's a dozen of those kind of bands that were central to the classic rock library. And those guys are all going to drop in the next 10 years, most likely. And that will kind of close the book on all this. But, do it till you drop. I don't know if that... I don't want that. I don't want Jimmy to do anything more. In fact, I'd love if they all stopped and just be dignified in retirement. But that's just me, because I've seen the ones I wanted to see. Other people who haven't seen the Stones probably wanted to keep doing it. I get it. I understand it. But when I saw them in '89, I thought that must be the end. I'm like, these guys they're going to be 50 in a few years. That's crazy. They're too old. And I was wrong then. Am I wrong now? I might be. But when it gets to the point of sitting in a chair like Phil Collins and sort of croaking out the vocals, I can't abide it. Sorry, the dude will not abide. So that's my thought. Put yours in the comments. And beyond that, I think we're getting pretty close to getting back to some more lessons in the next few days, but not quite ready. It still hurts like hell, gotta be honest. But getting better. Able to move it now, out of the sling, doing my physical therapy, and we're getting close. So good luck, and post your comments on this.